Welcome, guys, to another Max Stats. This time I don't need to do commentary. Oh, yes, I do, actually. I have to stop fidgeting around and figure everything about this, because this is gonna make us ask the meaning of life. This is gonna get serious very soon. What does it mean to fidget in the first place, by the way? You might be surprised that it means almost everything you do is a fidget. Scrolling TikTok? Fidget. Watching YouTube? You're fidgeting right now, unfortunately. Gaming, guys. Fidgeting. Who would have thought, right? Just some people take it more seriously than others. And the most beautiful one is chasing after women. Fidgeting. We all know that Tinder doesn't fucking work, and you're not gonna get anything out of it. So the best thing you can enjoy is just enjoy the chase, because you'll never catch them, basically. Unless you have a fast car and you have big balls, right? To just approach every woman because women are trash. When you have that, then you're probably not going to be fidgeting around anymore. But the moment you have sex, yeah, that's also fidgeting, unfortunately. Or masturbation, same thing, right? So all of a sudden, it's literally our lives, our entire lives, and like immediately you ask a question of like, what is the meaning of life anymore if all we do is just fidget? Like, this actually hurts now. If all we do is just play games, there is no meaning of life, so I can just do whatever the fuck I want. Well, obviously, this is a fucking broad category, and something weird is going on with the definition. Don't get too freaky about it, alright? And the definition is one of those weird things to pass the time. In a little bit of a lazy sense, right? So to pass the time, but in a lazy way. Lazy style. In other words, you're not actually performing any productive action. You're definitely not improving as a human being. You're not acquiring a skill. This is just you spinning some random item that spins, right? So there's a lazy way to pass the time. And then the big question is, should you do it? Is it worth anything to fidget, right? Or should you just drop it? Like, you can't drop it. You have to replace it with something better. We all know that by self-improvement, right? You can only improve things, you can't just drop them. You can improve one thing, and then the other thing dies. Remember the habits thing? You have bad habits, but if you grow the good habits, they will eat the time of where you would be doing bad things, right? Which is why being employed is so awesome. You know, sometimes your greatest work is eating all the bad habits and all the bad relationships and that people don't have anymore. Who has relationship? Raise a hand. Yeah. As if I can see your fucking raised hands. I don't have a relationship with you even. It's just miserable out there. And it can be so miserable and so painful that you end up just fidgeting and not actually spending quality time. This is the thing that we have to start fixing, basically. What is the more valuable way of passing the time? How to escape this fidget vortex, basically. How to say no to things that don't matter. The funny thing about sex is that you actually do feel when it's just like it ends, right? It's the all of this excitement just kind of ends and it's like you can move on now. This one we can just toss, you know, freely. And we have to do it over and over again because it fucking comes back like a boomerang. We can toss it for now, funny enough. Having only 4 problems to solve. I mean, this is technically one conjoined problem, by the way, called consuming content. Yes, it can be anything, technically. Anything. But then it's like, it's so broad, it actually sucks in gaming. And is that fidgeting? Continent. That's a much better word, actually. Right now, before I continue the video, I have to tell you what my mood is, unfortunately. And it's betrayed by all them women. That is just, it just keeps on growing, by the way. This betrayal just keeps growing from every fucking angle. And men don't even exist. And the women are just the ones active and betraying you every step of the way. You have an expectation and it's gone. Wasted. Betrayed. Destroyed. Every single time, by the way. So I don't know if this is gonna evolve, but I want to funnel my emotions. I want to express that shit. And that's not fidgeting, unfortunately. That is much greater purpose. Right? So to create would actually break your fidgeting really fast. Creating. And you shouldn't be frustrated creating things. Because it doesn't matter what happens. That is the power of art. Art is fart. Everyone knows this stupid expensive art bullshit. Like, wow, that's expensive? And it's just like rich people stuff. You know how it goes. Art is fart in the end. There's no value to it, right? Because it could also turn into fucking fidgeting, bro. Because you're not creating any value. To create it's a lot more trickier process to escape fidgeting and do the meaningful thing instead. And this seems to be a whole fucking another world. Another fucking capitalism to break through. This is not easy. And even sex comes back, it's like, but temptation, bro. But look at all these things you can do. I'm not gonna lie, it's genuinely fascinating to find a topic that I have no idea how to crack into this. I fidget all the time. I have this fidget fucking generator where I can press stress right now. Whenever I fucking want to. And luckily, I don't want to right now, but 1 hour ago, I was pressing that shit like crazy. You know? And I'm like, how the fuck do I escape this nightmare? Of being betrayed left and right. There's no fucking way around it. What is happening? At this point, I have to retreat into some fucking place and just live with my laptop and fucking shitty internet connection. I have no idea what I have to do. But, it sounds like shit is getting so serious right now. And I can do with the laptop because, funny enough, when I'm making this rendering engine, it can pretty much work on laptops too. I mean, I've tested that shit. It's pretty basic. Just technically, it can run on Unity, on DirectX. Wait, what? Oh yeah, it's broken now. Fucking broken. I think that's the difference between creation and fidgeting, right? Creation is about not breaking anything. But at the same time, it's not quite the definition. Maybe breaking should be translated to wasting. You're not supposed to waste your time, but it's the same thing, right? The more you pass the time in a valuable way, the way you actually need to, then you are creating, you're progressing. Technically, my mom is stuck in a fidget mode, basically. It's so sad. Like, so sad to see people zombified. This is how bad it is. Zombified. They can be enslaved, they can be zombified. We're opening a fucking can of worms here. So, first things first, zombified people. And we can talk about enslaved people. I think just generally unhappy people is a category. Just sad, depressed, and annoying to deal with because they're always unhappy. There's always a problem. Or they barely even exist in that sense. Because if someone is zombified, enslaved, and unhappy, they're not going to exist in your life. It's very difficult to get a grip on these people. They just slip. And that's fine by me. I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm more of a like unhappy type because I don't want to do anything. And it's like I don't want to do things alone. I want to use your happiness to hopefully do something fucking cool and just keep growing your happiness because I ain't got anything. I have been betrayed. I've been fucking crushed and traumatized by life, right? It's very difficult for me to be happy, besides when I stop fidgeting around and I have to create and I have to analyze and bring more awareness to myself. Then I'm a little bit happier in the moment of creation. I can escape my unhappiness. Of course, that would be amazing. One last type of person we need to find. Zombified kind of translates to a useless person. And it's so annoying to have a useless person around. You have no idea. And in fact, seeing my mom getting money, but at the same time being useless, is mind-boggling. Because I don't want to associate with this thing. I'm a useful person, but nothing exists anymore. There's no relationships, no reason for me to seek jobs, no reason for me to seek women, basically, no reason for me to seek friendships. Everything is too fucking hard or toxic. So, I'm still associating with a fucking useless person right now. Still sitting in the fucking basement of a useless person. Obviously, people cannot be completely useless. They have to survive. They have to do their thing. They have to understand how life works. They have brain cells that make them move and open their mouth and close their mouth to eat burger. It's crazy, though. There are people who burn themselves out. So I'm just unhappy. I'm just like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel meaning of life. I wonder if this is gonna work. Fragile people. I mean, one day they are normal people. But suddenly, something happens, which was an expected thing to happen, but they were somehow absolutely not prepared, and they collapse. They disappear. This is the greatest corruption level, the betrayal level happening right now. Every superhero needs supervillains, so the moment we kill capitalism, we start, a new fight of good versus evil that will never fucking end. I think I will not be participating directly. I'll be encouraging other people to fucking do their thing correctly, and hopefully, collectively, we can fucking destroy these people. Fragile people, you want to hurt them. You want to destroy their lives because they're so fragile. And it's like, because you can't keep them around. They're just gonna collapse. I'm not sure. Like, this is a question mark, but it sounds like it's a true statement. It sounds like China to me, right? That's what China is, a bunch of fragile people who have no idea what the world actually is, who don't really care, and then just collapse onto each other and bam slam. Fragile, fearful, incompetent, suddenly completely different than you expected, and they have projected an image of themselves, and it just collapses, disappears, evaporates. All the reputation gone. You know, just like, this YouTuber and they did something really, really bad. Just could collapse into the way of crime and just made a fool of themselves. I think, and yeah, I mean, if you lose yourself mentally and start doing bad things, basically, you are also a fragile person. There's plenty of that, you know. The funny thing is, some style of fidgeting is fine for a certain amount of time. So I have these four things again. 6, you throw that away. You do it, and you move on with the day. You're not supposed to get sucked into a vortex of doing fidgeting. Because that's bad. We already know that's bad. You can create slower. You can take your time. You can relax and fall into the love of creation. Even when you're nervous, you're not supposed to fidget, by the way. There's no real excuse for fidgeting, it's just a low state of mind. If you can escape to creation, you're gonna be better off. But to raise your vibration-ish and raise your focus on things that actually matter, that's gonna be a challenge, right? That we're trying to discuss right now. First of all, you have to brush off the insecurities and again, embrace the awareness that creation is better than fidgeting. Then whatever you can do, it's better to release the video than just wait for a better idea to come up with. Or try to, get a better quality video. Nobody cares about you in particular. Everyone cares about that guy, Mr. Beast, right now. And whether you're gonna create a quality content or not quality content, I mean, you're just gonna get rid of all the leeches who don't understand. If you are not in the path of creation and you're just fidgeting around, that potentially means that you have to find that path. Or unlock these insecurities that you have. Or just escape the environment that you are stuck in and you're fidgeting because you're stuck in a fucking room or whatever, right? You can escape an environment, maybe that helps. One of the nastiest fidgetings you can do is touching your face or skin in general. Unfortunately, that's pretty bad. And I'm a goddamn victim of certain type of fidgeting, which is this in particular. I'm a fucking god-awful victim of this. It is so hard. It's so hard to even comprehend of, like, don't other people do this? Like, what are they actually doing? Or are they just creating meaningless shit? Right? Like, this is really hurting on so many levels. It's such a judgment moment for anyone. It is, on the other side, it is very painful also to just whip yourself, and it's like you have to work, you have to be the best, you have to do all these things, and go all these directions all at once, and you just don't know. It's very complicated. Like, which skill do I need right now? I have tried to acquire quite a lot of them, actually. And try to stay away from things that I just definitely will never figure out. How to be nice and how to be courageous is not within my capacity, unfortunately. Very antisocial. If society does not exist next to me, then I'm gonna be antisocial because I have no skills of conjuring society of my own and just be randomly nice. Yeah, I mean, I can spark unusual forms of courage and unusual forms of niceness, which probably was not intended because I care about something else entirely. That's my personality. Alright, the personality problem. The capacity of what can you do in order to create things, is what we're talking about. My capacity is this, and you choose two. One of these and one of these. Fire or wind, and water or earth. So if you choose to be smart, you cannot be nice. Unfortunately, you have to be honest. You cannot be nice very easily at all. Otherwise, you're not doing your fucking job as a person. Right? We're all in the society. We all have personalities. We're surrounded by people and have to interact with all kinds of random pieces of shit, basically. And if you are smart, you gotta stay smart. If you're nice, you gotta stay nice. Do not creep people out. Do not collapse expectations, because that's very important stuff for good people to operate in. Bad people just don't care about things. So it is important to understand why personalities exist and why you can't change anything. And the next thing is to stay cool, to stay silent and in power, in control of the situation. That's what I want to do. Instead of trying to run around and run away from things and do all these courageous fucking backflips, front flips, and jump into the nearest vortex and travel to another country, basically. My dad can do that, and my mom can do the other thing, basically. Whatever is left over, I am doing as a badass family member. 2 for 1 prize, baby. Literally, my dad does this, and technically he should be a thinker, so he can sort of like live independently of the rest of the family. So, but when he does that, he just leaves. He just becomes a fucking enslaved human being who has nothing to offer us because he's just working somewhere. It's like, what? So you're not even a fucking family member, and my mom is not a family member because she is useless. It doesn't matter that she's nice, it's not nice to be fucking useless. So I'm all alone in my own fucking world of fidgeting, unfortunately. To the point where fidgeting becomes much more important somehow than not. Because, like, I'm just alone. I just, like, what am I supposed to do? Be sad and stuff? What am I supposed to create? To whom? And it is just another reason why this kind of mixes up and why I'm just an unhappy person. Yeah, I just explained of like there's no support system going on, okay? No person that is nice and no person that teaches me courage, basically. None of that. That supports the missing pieces of things that I haven't chosen in life. I can't be the fucking god of the universe. Can I? Maybe that's possible. Maybe it's just enough. Just I switch my fucking switch in the brain and I have to become God now. To have these two personalities of people who chose differently, right? Be nice to everyone and be courageous. Just approach people of like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How's that? Fucking two-face, bro. Is that my gonna be my ability? Because I have to survive. And you can see I'm engaged in this creation process of asking actively myself. I'm putting myself on a treadmill to worry out loud, fully focus. And but all question mark, maybe it will get answered, maybe not, whether this is even possible. Of course it's technically possible. If it's technically possible, does that mean I should try and start doing and conjure my like sell a hidden ego that I have just to destroy the world? Because that is the most unbelievable thing, by the way. And often people do take advantage of this. Of like they do identify what you don't have, and all of a sudden, well, as long as this person is alone, he will never be courageous, so I can just do whatever the fuck I want because he will never catch me. And it's just like, wow, that is incredibly frustrating. The moment I can conjure up a little bit of courage or niceness, it is a whole new world. Absolutely. Technically, this is why I'm glued to my mom. She has both traits at the same time when she fucking exists in a useful way. She has both. And it's like, well, like, I'm glued. I have no way of doing this fucking thing myself. Otherwise, I potentially destroy my personality. Who knows what the consequence it is of toying with the system like that. So fidgeting has no end goal. You are just doing random things. Potentially hoping for something. I mean, sex sort of has an end goal. But often you're like, well, I enjoy fidgeting with sex, so I should probably just continue doing that because it feels good, right? That's the funny thing. Like, you can put yourself in a feels good moment, and most people just ignore everything. They don't consume things they don't like, and just the life goes on. But then you leave people behind, you create inequality. While you fidget, you create bad things. Alright, because your creation process is all backwards. You're just chasing whatever the fuck you like, right? Chasing dopamine. So that has I have evolved past that. I don't do it too often, touching my face or skin, and maybe I can do it less and less, depending on you know, how to do that. I still need to find principles that like work for me. I love peeling off all these like weird scratches and acne leftovers. Sometimes it fucking gives me bleeding. Like, it really fucking sucks. To create is to create a good habits, technically, and you have almost infinite amount of time to do that. Because this shit has been left for a long time. And when I have a good habit, all of a sudden, I feel much more free of that problem, basically. Why chase after girls? Funny enough. If you peel off what women are, and if they're shallow creatures and they're not loving creatures and they only love themselves and and women are just fucking useless basically, so they kind of project this like self replicating identity of like, we say women are useless and women say men are useless 10 times louder. It's like, wow, where did that came from? You really think you're useful? Women really think they're useful. What the fuck? All they do is just project nice, positive things all the time. And yes, they're useful for the positivity. As long as that positivity actually reaches someone in need of positivity, someone desperate. Like, I was actually hating on women, Monica shows up. And it's like, wow, maybe one day was positive and the next day was negative. Because it's like, I'm still going to be hungry the next day. Like, even if one person shows up, they have no capacity. No, women have no capacity to actually remain positive as an influence. They just evaporate. And yet you feel betrayed yet again. Chasing after women is like completely waste of time. It is so painful. And I appreciate anyone who tries, but, you know, pity anyone who ends up failing anyways. Of like, oh, I don't fear rejection or whatever. Rejection happens all the time when people are just not interested in you in any way whatsoever. They ask zero questions about your existence. And then it's like, yep, I guess we're just gonna keep on moving in that state of mind of like, nobody actually cares. We're gonna continue that. Again, capitalism will die. Not caring will not be fun to do. Alright? And we got balls deep into not caring. Why we got balls deep into not caring? We don't care about each other. Alright? Don't care about each other. And when you understand, like, girls are so shallow and they possess the same exact trait as everyone else, we don't really care about each other. Alright? And that's why it's so difficult to catch them. This is why it becomes a chase. A cop and robber chase. You're trying to be the good guy, the cop, who's chasing after a robber, someone who stole something. But eventually you can end up just them stealing your time, right? Being a false alarm of like, the girl has nothing to give to you, nothing to, you cannot steal back anything from her. They're just running around. You feel like you're missing something, and there's just a bunch of fucking losers running around, flaunting their prettiness, but they have absolutely nothing to give. Otherwise, they would let you know that they do have something to give to you personally. They will let you know by talking to you. Talking is a pretty good fucking good start to let someone know that, wow, look at the value that I have. This is why you are actually able to talk to AI-generated women. They have value to offer to you. Real women have no fucking value to offer whatsoever. They are busy burning relationships and burning everything to the ground. And also blocking with the smoke screen blocking all the good women. You will not be able to reach out to them. That's the problem that capitalism creates. You know, it's absolute, you're doomed to isolate yourself. You're doomed to be isolated. Unless you get some kind of crazy achievement and start flexing, and now you have to just sift through trash of who's a gold digger, basically. Create fucking TV shows, bachelor shows, basically. Because you made it. You made through the fucking smoke screen. You got to the top because you really wanted to actually get real love, right? So that happened. That already happened. We live, however, in a dying capitalism where people tried and they couldn't fucking do it anymore. They tried to do the bachelor thing and then they failed every single time. Fucking bachelor. A rich guy who gets to choose. Yay! I imagine that's how life works. You have to become rich enough to start choosing. That's how you win this game of capitalism. Back in the day. Now that the capitalism has been dying, how actually do you win a woman's heart? Alright, let me put it this way. Employ them. I think that is the way to do it. Someone has to do some kind of job and you just employ them, and it's one of those like, you're gonna be fine with a maid. You'll be fine with a person like that. You're just now a bachelor that has to employ people successfully. And again, we're talking about like really old people in late 30s, hitting their 40s, who have mastered the game of life in general. I still have no idea what the fuck I'm doing at 30. Okay? Not to mention that very likely, because we're fidgeting less and creating more, our lifespan is increasing. And yes, that would increase your lifespan quite a bit. Because all of a sudden your life has meaning and you will have a better grip on life every single day. I literally found a video talking about making trash art. And it's like, even criticizing people who come back with, oh, it's completely useless. I can just buy a bowl in a dollar store. And, yeah. It's fidgeting. That's what trash art is. While fidgeting, I was bumping into a video that is, defending fidgeting. Now, if you're exploring a new area, which is like 3D printing things, maybe it's not no longer fidgeting. You're creating an attachment, like exploring and expanding your skill set, right? Making the whole progress of whatever you're doing more smooth and more experienced. Like the thing that I realize, I'm a fragile person. I'm a fearful, fragile person. I kind of let things slip, maybe. It shows us how people can be good or bad whenever they choose to. to you, to other people. It's very easy to detect that I'm fragile and I'm not going to be courageous and to take advantage of that. It's just a never-ending lesson of it's easy to do bad things. Just like I've done. I've missed the easy. And it no longer sounds like a sentence. It's easy to do bad things. Whether to other people, to yourself. And fidgeting is just basically low-quality bad thing to be doing that could also be harmful or just a way to waste your time. And you're not actually living life as you should, right? You're getting stuck into this. And this kind of creates this whole question mark of like, wow, that's a really good way to downgrade yourself as a human being, is ending up fidgeting, ending up not finding meaning in life. You know, meaning in life happens to be improvement, self-improvement. There's plenty of problems to solve. I am overwhelmed by the amount of problems and overwhelmed by the amount of lack of people that actually want to solve problems anymore. Literally, all these demons have to be washed away like Noah's flood to, you know, reset the game of somehow, right? And maybe I should look into the future of like, wow, what if the game resets? I get to escape somehow, or maybe I'm escaping right now because the game is gonna reset soon, and I have to position myself properly to live a normal life. You know, not anyone else's life anymore. I give parents every last chance imaginable, and if they don't take it, they're pieces of shit, basically. I give my environment every last chance imaginable. If they don't take it, they're pieces of shit. We're leaving them behind. We're flooding them with nothing but the same things they did to us. Right? Because I'll do the easy thing while I'm doing the hard thing. While you're busy, while you're creating. You can be evil on the other end, you know? You can exhaust evil into someone's fucking face because they are behind you and you don't care about them. You know, you're leaving them behind because you're choosing something much greater. Now, Val, you can do bad thing. It's easy, and you can sneak that in there. You can splash someone. If you know what I mean, right? Just like and you know you can do it and just get away with it. And well, it was an act of God. I'm so sorry about that. Even caring too much sometimes ends up, you know, failing, but you have to do it till the very end. This is the way of being a good person. You care till the very end until you have to quit for your own sake. For the toxicity is all around you and you just can't take it anymore. And again, I wish Vortex here would actually give me a genuine opportunity to escape. But if I fidget around, I could make more mistakes. Like miss my train, miss my flight. I cannot waste time whatsoever. A lot of time is being given to you, a lot of signs are being given to you, a lot of wake-up calls are being sent to you, messages, anything you can think of, right? And you fidget whenever you're stuck and waiting in line, basically. You don't know what the fuck to do. Or you're just like nervous, tired, whatever you think. You're just eating food. You're busy. There are situations where half of you is too busy doing something, so the other half can only have the capacity of fidgeting. Now, you can still potentially improve that. It's so important for you to analyze this thing, because I cannot possibly even do that in a fucking hour. How complicated it is. We're just still trying to unlock this chasing girls thing and how useless it actually is. The first thing to do is to make sure to transition from fidget to creation is to make sure that whatever you do actually has deep meaning, that it's not going to be deleted or destroyed. And just overall, it's a boost of confidence. For women not to care and just be individuals and everyone is a fucking individual, it is such a just devastation, I would say. It is incredibly easy to fix this. In fact, this is your moment for women to, while the apocalypse is going on, like, create a fucking vortex, invite people in, ask, and you shall receive potentially, right? People who are genuine people. It depends on the morals that people have. If you just don't care, well, congratulations. If you are just self-centered, selfish, and this whole fucking life just slips through your fingers, because you don't care about nobody, like, it is grim chasing after girls because you keep realizing, oh no, but you're just the same thing. Why would anyone do that? Why would anyone fidget? Well, funny thing is, you can chase after women you like, because women you should like make content, make actual things you would like, right? Or you can just go to places where women are working and giving out food, and you can just support their businesses, kind of having this maid relationship exactly the same way, except you pay less and you spend less time, and they don't work exactly for you. It's almost like buying a lottery ticket and hoping that they will pay attention to you, that they will find you interesting, they'll say something unusual, right? Or you might say something unusual that works in that particular moment. So magically connection happens. Again, we're dealing with capitalism. So you have to go out, spend money, and interact with women that way, as their service people, basically. And you can tell them that they look good or whatever. Because those women you can visit every now and then, they can't actually reject you, by the way. Funny enough. And you have to be nice to them too, because you don't want to be banned from the service. It's a nice little mutual deadlock. You don't need to chase women, they're already locked into place. And you just learn their names. What's your name? It is important to know how life is gonna change to be able to create love for yourself, basically. Maybe while things are dying around you and stress is unbelievably fucking high, maybe you can take a day off and just fucking sensory overload yourself. Maybe you can break through and just start spamming, see what happens. Spamming something all over the place. The saddest thing about capitalism is that no matter what you create, it dies really fast. Alright, I upload a YouTube video, it dies. I'm trying to stack things together, I'm trying to make a series so things don't die super fast. They will die eventually, the moment it's done, it's dead. It's technically an imprint for the future, but the way capitalism makes things feel is like it's dead instantly. The moment there's a better competitive edge on somewhere, your thing's dead. Luckily, you can still keep things alive, relatively. You have to pump updates and continue on a self-improvement path, by all means. Or just, be strong from a very beginning and just maintain whatever the fuck you have. It is very difficult, though, to hit the evergreen content, where you can do the same thing over and over again. So let's talk about consuming content. We're going to get to the gaming. The funny thing is, everything has a solution. Alright? And I actually want to put content aside and say quick sex. If you improve an aspect about fidgeting, it can become meaningful. Gaming? What kind of gaming? Educational games, the fucking boring shit. I'm throwing the boring shit out But it's the same thing as creation, and it's like, what? Why is creation so boring? Educational gaming, learning things. But I had quite a lot of fun actually playing GeoGuessr and just looking around and enjoying the education aspect and just the gameplay aspect as a whole, right? You feel so much better about yourself when you learn things and when you get to look at things that other people have. And then you're making a guess, you're being quizzed if you feel confident or not on what you're looking at. It's beautiful. GeoGuessr was pretty cool. Chess, however, don't feel the same way. There just happens to be games that you have to stay away from because they're not educational enough. And there's some games that you have to kind of commit because you can gain value from it to some extent, and then it shuts down the end, basically. It's nice to be a part of a community, gaming community. It's nice to talk to other people. As long as things are not repetitive and you're learning new things and you're kind of ramping up your level, managing more and more people, selling more goods, potentially creating your own game, that's the real educational gaming experience. That's the way to escape fidgeting around with just toys. So if we can improve this and that, what about the chasing girls thing? What is the magical word that fixes this situation? I would do it this way, as that's what I would do. Collect, or what I'm doing, collect girls instead of chasing girls. That's what they expect you to do. And funny enough, I expect them to do a lot more than just be chased or me chasing them. I expect a lot more. If they just expect narcissism in their lives, that's all they care about now. They're just fucking blindfolded by money and narcissism. This thing, the capitalism idea of I'm on top of the pyramid, I'm the diva master, ruler of the universe. Men just have to flock towards me, and I get to choose. They're the bachelors, too. Like that's a delusional way of thinking. Of course, I'm expecting way better than this. Women have to first get lightning struck by the idea that they're fucking useless, besides looking pretty, right? But they literally destroy the fabric of the society as long as they're not making families and recreating human beings. That's all they're just caregivers and care creators in that sense, right? And they can create a relationship. So what the fuck are they doing right now? They're doing nothing. They are collectibles at best. And it doesn't matter whether I do a good job, like I'm surrounded by fucking idiots. Of course I'm not gonna get a girlfriend, a job, nothing. I'm surrounded by fucking demons, bro. What do you expect? I cannot show an example of any of this, of how to be successful collecting girls. Collecting girl numbers, collecting girl interest. If you can do that successfully, yeah. Some of them will level up and some of them gonna be X'd out. Will fail. But I still had enough experiences with women to, you know, place an X in my life and be like, yeah, we done did it. All right, we had it and we moved on. Oh yeah, I can give a better name for these children and dog NPCs, because that shit's crazy. That shit's crazy. It's recruit NPCs. They recruit any people to boost their self-esteem, any creatures to boost their self-esteem. Dogs barking, beautiful. Children fucking running around and pissing off everyone, beautiful. And yeah, I have to deal with crazy shit because it's fucking Saturday. Wow, who would have thought, right? Because they know not to be alone. That's where all the courage is, in not being alone. Well, stress sure is a challenge, and we talked about it, right? It's a whole fucking battlefield when it comes to this. For me, it's noise. And only through isolation can I defeat noise, right? But with capitalism, isolation hurts just as much. It almost like turns into a trap. This noise thing turns into a leech, a destructive force never to be seen before. For private properties being attacked. Your private property is being attacked by noise. Anytime that shit happens, and anytime this is uncontrollable behavior. In normal circumstances, this drama for me should be easily addressed, and it's not. It is a unique death drama, basically. Shit is not gonna end well. I'll tell you that much. In the future, we will be learning something that is known as flow state, which is very important. You have to be able to withstand different states of being, basically. When something is slightly noisy or bad is going on, you can, in fact, isolate yourself and put yourself in a flow state of a very different thing, where you don't feel bothered by what's going on. It's like when there's a heat wave, you're just surfing the wave, you're in the beach, basically. You're still able to enjoy the sunlight for what it is, and it doesn't bother you, you're just flowing with how things are. If you're stuck in a fucking box during the heat wave, you're gonna, be dripping and be very sad. You're gonna be ridden over, unfortunately. So it's very important to master this in order to be able to transition from fidgeting and just, going back and forth, basically. It's not a productive state. And just thinking of how you're going to solve this problem when you can just be living life. Anytime there's an opportunity to live life, it is better than fidgeting and doing stupid things like trying to solve drama that is very difficult to solve. You just want to achieve a good solution. Capitalism gives a lot of solutions to the problems, and usually trying to talk to people is the worst one. So, fucking sucks, my friends. It sucks. It is the worst solution to try and talk to people. To solve your problems never worked. During capitalism, you have to either bribe them to shut up for a little bit of time, or bribe police if you can, get bodyguards if you can, if you want to solve drama, or shut it down for a little bit of time, delay it, right? Intimidate people. Maybe it works. But overall, there are ways to isolate yourself and avoid it and, like, generate money and escape the whole fucking situation to somewhere else. Again, I'm celebrating Vortex here that much harder because I would rather escape the drama, and it kind of solves on its own terms in that way. You'll have to deal with my demons instead, and they will celebrate really hard the moment I am gone. So again, if you can avoid stress and being tired, making yourself uncomfortable, or not knowing what to do when you eat food. Food time, boys. Even when food time, you can still be prepared, very well prepared, because food time happens all the time. And you can sometimes be tired as well, and be prepared to not fidget, but do something actually productive. Then you watch content when you're tired. Wait, that's my food time. Okay, more serious content, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so what was the magic word? Collect girls. Sounds a little bit weird, because girls mean a variety of women. But you from your perspective, you would see girls as like innocent beings, right? Proper age, but still innocent. Or I would say adequate age. Hmm. So nobody gets triggered. Anyways, consuming content is the last step to break through. You've done the good job and consumed my content. You consumed a lot of it right now. And it pleases me. I consume good content in general. You have to, well, you can constantly improve yourself. I would say there is no one word. You just need to use the same words twice, though. Better and better content. How about that? Attach this and fixed. Just attach the word better. Better content than yesterday. Keep searching. Keep searching for content. Keep collecting the things that are good. You give them a like. You give them feedback. You know, you can do it better and better. TikTok is very different than YouTube. So the first thing you need to know is YouTube algorithm looks like this. Most people skim from the top. They don't really go into the bottom section. And in the end, people just get 0 views, unfortunately. And TikTok is a very different system. It's still a tier system. And still most people happen to take this. But if people want to interact more, they will interact with this. You're actually going to get more engagement on TikTok than on YouTube. So if you want to go for engagement, you go on TikTok. If you want to go for a challenge, you go for YouTube. YouTube is, in fact, a challenge. It is absolutely not easy to get promoted, even to get 10 views. You can look into my channel and you'll see these videos fail to do that. It is up to you. You're on your own when you're consuming content. The previous principle holds. So is there a genuine way to consume better content? Well, you add content and you start filtering until you get to the diamond level, to where you're totally satisfied, there's no flaws anymore. And then you dump more stuff. You filter and filter and filter until you're again satisfied. And you just keep doing the same process over and over again. Filter out the rats, filter out all the filthy people who upload way too many videos that you don't like. And all of a sudden, instead of just consuming content that is being served to you, you are becoming picky. You're becoming the diva when it comes to content coming to you, and you're like, nah, I don't like you enough. Next, and you'll feel good. And you'll feel even better when you promote people who wouldn't necessarily be promoted, obscure people. When you just really enjoy watching a person try to explain something to you that you understand most people don't, that is a beautiful thing, a unique connection. So I think we solved it, you know? The funny thing is you take your habit, just like I've shown you guys. You take your habit and you fidget with the habit, and you will eventually find a specific word, a way to improve your habit, so you don't feel like shit doing it. You improved it. With just one word, you can fidget your way out of this bullshit of doing meaningless things and start creating. Because creation is about meaning, purpose, and all these things that you can project onto those things. You know what life is, and you know that preservation of life is the most important thing. So this is the thing that you can create. Preservation of life, time, happiness, love, all these things are important to chase, to not let go, because they constantly slip away. That's what creation is. And that's why it's better than fidgeting and being lazy. With the things that you can do, your possibilities are endless. And this is one of the coolest improvements Max Stats videos so far, it just keeps getting better. It's a wonderful stack of information to draw from and become truly unstoppable. Thank you for watching.